podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and The Pavilion with me, your host, Stephen Wallace. We have now reached episode 225 of a show which is always looking for inspirational stories. If you follow the show, who can forget the inspirational stories of jockeys Jacob Pritchard-Webb and Ron Hutchinson, the saving of Park Lane Stables with Natalie O'Rourke, Roland Butcher, the first black cricketer to play for England, and the story of the trailblazing trainer Ellen Challoner, the first woman trainer. If you have missed any, do go back and check our archive of shows. Today's show is equally inspiring. Back in mid-July, I spoke to Shazia, the 21-year-old Afghanistan women's cricket captain who fled the turmoil in her country in the autumn of 2021, en route to safety in Australia to resume her cricketing career. In this compelling hour-long podcast, Shazia talks about her love of cricket, the challenges as a woman she faced playing in an environment where many did not approve, and how she escaped from this war-torn area through the help of the Australian Cricket Board. Hello, Shazia. Thanks for joining us on the Paddock and the Pavilion.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much for having me, and it's my pleasure to talking to you.
How are you in Canberra?
Very well, thank you.
Well, in this podcast, we're going to chat about your cricketing journey, leaving Afghanistan, and your cricketing future. But I'd like to start with your 2022-2023 season in Australia. You've been playing for Eastlake Cricket Club. You've had a good season.
Yeah, that's right. I'm playing for Eastlake Cricket Club. Yes, it was a great season. It was my first season, and I contributed very well to my team, and they were happy from my performance. And at the end of the season, they appreciate me with the award as well, because my best bowling was 644 in one-day cricket. Also, Cricket ICT gave me an honor to be Women's Team of the Year, to be part of the Women's Team of the Year. So I would say that was a great start for my cricket journey in Australia.
What form of cricket are you playing? Is it 50 overs, 20 overs?
Yeah, so usually we girls are playing 50 overs and 20 overs game. So this is first and second grade teams.
And you're bowling, you're a slow bowler, is that right?
Actually, I used to bowl pace bowling when I was in my country. When I came to Australia, so in our team there was lots of pace bowler, and I was able to do leg break as well. So my coaches gave me an advice that if you could bowl slow ball and especially leg break, leg is a bit tough to judge, so that would be more useful. So I changed my bowling style from pace bowling to the leg break. So currently I'm a bowling all-rounder, and I'm doing a leg break bowl.
So what number are you batting as well?
Usually I'm the top order batter.
How do you find the conditions in Australia compared to Afghanistan?
I would say Afghanistan and Australia, it's like two different worlds, and there's lots of difference between Australia and Afghanistan. In cricket, in everything, especially in cricket, in sports. So girls and boys in Australia has lots of facilities, opportunities, and they can decide what to do and in which side they can make their career. But it's so hard in Afghanistan. to decide what to do in the future, especially for women. This is so hard.
I was thinking about the actual cricket pitches in Australia. How do they compare to the Afghanistan ones?
Actually, Australian, as everyone knows, this is a more grassy pitches, and they're more helpful for the pace bowler. But I'm not very experienced in Australia right now, but it has lots of like different type of pitches. And we had in Afghanistan a different one, and according to the situation and weather, obviously there is a big difference.
Have you been made really welcome though playing at Eastlake?
A lot. I really love my team. They're so kind. They're very supportive, and they welcomed me as a family member, and they supported me in every situation. When I started my cricket season, so I was nervous because situation in Afghanistan and in Australia, it's just totally different thing, and I couldn't find myself like how I used to play in Afghanistan, and there was a big difference. So they always gave me courage, and like everyone from Cricket ACT and my friends and those people that they helped us. So they're very kind and nice people.
So you've got used to playing with and against Australians then?
Um, Actually, I never, I never thought of that, but maybe if the situation was like normal, maybe. But actually, I really enjoy playing cricket in Australia because there you are facing challenges because there's lots of talented girls, and they're doing their best to get themselves in best position. So you will face lots of challenges, and the things that they will push you. I know this is quite different from Afghanistan, but you can learn more and more. Like literally every day, you can if you are doing like normal practice, you will learn lots of things.
Very competitive as well, I guess.
It is. Yeah. When I was a when I was child, so and when I knew about the cricket and especially women cricket, Australia was my favorite team, and I was big fan of Elisa Perry because she was the first person that I saw her video on YouTube. Actually, we had main coach for the boys from Australia. Um, Actually, I don't remember his name, but he also told me that we also have a women cricket team in Australia, and um I told him really, and he said, "Yeah, let me show you someone." So he showed me Elise Perry video on YouTube, and when I saw her, so I instantly I became her fan, and I was following her cricket, and she's still my favorite, and I respect every player and their hard work and their talent. But everyone has someone special. So I really like Lisa Perry.
Well, she's still going strong. When she got 99 in the women's test match.
Yes. So she's like my ideal. So I wanted to work as much as hard she's doing it, and she's a good example for many cricketers and many girls, for young girls, so they can follow them. And there's lots of young cricketers that they have different favorite players. And as you said, they're very competitive. Yes, they are. So as you can see, they're they won like World Cups. So we can see they're most competitive team.
To find out more of how Shazia has settled into her cricketing life at Eastlake Cricket Club, I spoke to the club's wicketkeeper, Carli Eaton. How did Shazia join up with Eastlake Cricket Club?
So one afternoon, it was actually, I think towards the end of COVID, we started training again down at Kingston Oval, and we noticed a group of girls off to the side, and they were watching us train, and they looked really interested, and eventually a couple of us went over and asked them if they'd like to join in, and they sort of talked amongst themselves and went away and came back with more women. And then, as a group, they decided, to join in with our drills. Zia's was one of the better English speakers, so she did a lot of the translating between us and some of the other players, and that was sort of the catalyst. They became involved in our club, and then the following year they sort of spread around different clubs in Canberra as they'd found more permanent housing. But Zia really, really wanted to play with us at Eastlake. And so, she registered with us, and now she's, a very solid member of our team.
Well, that's great to hear. We were talking off air, Eastlake in Canberra, and you've got first and second grade cricket there.
That's right, yeah. So we've got a combined first grade women's where we combine with one of our neighbouring clubs in Queanbeyan, and then we've got our own second grade team. So Zia plays across both of those. She's a very talented cricketer, and is absolutely capable of playing at the first grade level. But also gratefully plays for us in second grade and really really helps us, particularly with her bowling. But she's quite the batter as well.
You had a great season last season.
Yeah, we made the grand final in both formats, so the T20s and the 40 over games. And Zia was definitely a key part in both of those, taking wickets and making runs. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the premiership in either format. But it was definitely an exciting finish to the season.
And as a wicketkeeper, you know a lot about her bowling.
I certainly do. Yes. Yep. She's a very handy spin bowler, and has a really zippy, quick ball that you really got to watch out for. And it tricks a lot of batters and gets through a lot. And once it hits middle stump, there's a lovely rattle.
And Shazia won an award at the end of the season from the club.
Yes, yeah. She won a bowling award, taking 6 for 4 during the season. Was quite remarkable. I think it's up there in the league for certainly for some of the best bowling stats ever in Canberra women's cricket, and also won the captain's award.
So the 6 for 4, were any of those dismissals down to the wicketkeeper, Carli?
I don't know that you could put any of them down to me. I actually can't even remember how those 6 went, but I have no doubt that there are a couple of catches in there, and I'd say she hit the stumps cleanly on a few of them too.
How is Shazia fitted in at Eastlake? Because it's a really inspiring story, this.
Yeah, she's so lovely. Both her and her sister have really fitted in there. They're almost, I'd say they're almost, Aussie larrikins in their own way. They've got a really cheeky sense of humour. They joke around with us. They joke about each other. We love both of them. And I don't know what else to say about Zia. She's a pleasure to have in the team. She's a lovely person, but she's really, really driven in her cricket as well. She's ambitious and works hard to improve herself.
Just away from the cricket, and before we talk about your own sort of cricketing journey, what's it been like living in Australia? Because you've been there I don't exactly know how long you've been there, but what's it been like living in Australia? And where are you working? Where are you
So
working as well?
right now in Australia.
Yeah.
So right now in Australia, I'm working part-time at IKEA. And also living in Australia Australia is a great place. Like you can decide what to do, and there is no any security problem, especially for women. And there is lots of opportunities for women, and they can show their talent and abilities. Um, I never thought that I would be migrant again to such a country, but Australia was my always my favorite. But I never thought that I will be in Australia and I will be living in Australia. And I have been in Australia for more than 1 year. And when we came for the first time, for myself, I was so busy, and like it was so hard when we left everything and we came to Australia. But they were so welcoming. They were the government supported us, the Cricket Australia, and the local teams and Cricket ACT in Canberra. So they welcomed us in very good way. But still, um, like we have to do like lots of hard work to show our ability, and to show our skills, because this is something like when you are starting your journey from zero, or maybe from number one or two, so you have to go step by step, and this is not easy thing, uh, even in every side. So I studied I have bachelor degree in business administration from my country. And also, I worked for 7 years in Afghanistan Cricket Board, as well as um I worked lots of for women's rights and women advocacy since when I was in high school. But still, there's lots of big difference between countries. But you have to do, like, as a migrant, you have to do more things. Like it is like something you build your career in your country for like in certain level, and you were the person that everyone will recognize you. But when you are moving to another country, they appreciate what you did, but it's still like not the same. You have to do more and more. And getting jobs, it's another challenge, and showing your cricket skills, this is another challenge. And when you don't know how to support yourself or how to develop your skills, and there is like other challenges. But this is the great place. But by the time we can learn and have to live our life. But the great thing is, in almost in every side, we have someone like there's people so helpful and supportive. So when we if they can't, so they can help us. So in every section. But as I said, as a migrant and moving to another country, it's totally different. So you have to do more hard work, and you have to do uh, mm, more hard work and struggle to really show what you are. So it's not a easy journey again.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I wanted to go back to your own first interest in cricket. When and how did you, in Afghanistan, you've mentioned Elise Perry, but how did you first get interested and start playing cricket?
When I was 4.5 years, I guess, we were in Pakistan. So because of the war, my parents moved to Pakistan. So I was doing gymnastics in Pakistan. So I had lots of gold medals in my gymnastic career, and I did. hard work as a child to be a champion in certain games. And when we came back to Afghanistan, for the first time when the Taliban left our country, so we came to Afghanistan again, and I was doing gymnastic. By the time I grew up, so in our society, women and as a religion believes, so girls and women should do hijab. So before that, I was dressing like boys. So when I grew up, so I stopped doing gymnastic, and I started hijab, and I was going as a normal kid to school. But one day, from Afghanistan Cricket Board, there were people came to our school, and they wanted um, to see if there is any girls like to play cricket or to school have a cricket team. In this time, Afghan boys cricket team were famous in our country, and they were my first inspiration to love cricket and to keen to join the cricket journey. So I raised my hand and I said, I want to start cricket now, because I was in sports world from my childhood. So I wanted to be in the sports industry. And it was good that according to our beliefs, religion beliefs, that I was able to do my hijab, and the dress that and the jersey that we are wearing, it is appropriate for the community as well in Afghanistan, because there was lots of ideas between community and people that they were not allowing their daughters and sisters to do any kind of sports. So I gave this idea to my family, and I told them that cricket is a good sport. And when I was a kid, so I was doing gymnastic, and when I grew up, so everyone is saying you are now younger, so you can't do gymnastics. So now I have cricket. So I want to jump to the cricket, and I want to try. And my family supported me, especially my brother, and he was so keen, and he told me just go for it, and if you like it, so just try. So I started my cricket journey from high school, and we had cricket a competition between schools. So I played school cricket, and then when I was in school, so I got formal contract from Afghanistan Cricket Board as a playing coach, because there was lack of women coaches and technical staff in Afghanistan. If the technical staff or management staff is women, so they're happy to allow their daughters and sisters to go and to play this certain sports. So this was the option that for me as well, that I can have other girls to come and join and play cricket. And literally, I started my journey as a single player, because when the girls were playing cricket in schools, they were not allowed to go out of school and play cricket, because there could be media, there could be other people that they can watch women play cricket. It was not a good idea for them. So I had an idea that I have to be an example, and if I want to convince someone, so I have to show them that I'm playing cricket and nothing is wrong with the cricket, so they can play and they can have support. So this was so I got inspired from our boys team, and they were so keen to play, and they had good achievement at that moment. So I become a cricketer, and I become my school captain.
So how old were you when you're talking about high school? So what sort of age were when you
I
first
think
sort of
I
started?
was 11 or 12 years old.
You explained there how difficult it was for a woman to be playing cricket in Afghanistan. Can you just explain sort of the challenges that even though the government had changed, there would still be some men who wouldn't like you playing cricket? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. It was so challenging playing cricket in Afghanistan for every player that they love to play for their country and to have some achievement. Because there was not just like community ideas or the mindset that they had and that they have, but there was security problem, and even we were receiving phone calls that we have to stop what we are doing, and we don't have to go and to do some work, and we don't have to do cricket. And the only thing that we just changing our SIM card and numbers, and we were just moving on. And it was so hard. Even when we wanted to go out from home, we didn't tell anyone that where we are going and what we are going to do. And most of the girls, their relatives didn't know what they doing in sports or not. They just knew about they're doing some study, but not sports, especially cricket. It was so challenging for everyone, and our team was so brave, and they faced the challenges, and they came to the ground, and they wanted to play cricket, and we wanted to change the idea for women's. It was very hard journey that when even I was going to the families, and I was talking to the families that you can come to our office. There's you can see the environment, you can see the when we are playing. It was so hard. So when I'm watching young girls in Australia, and when I having chat with them, so I'm telling them that you have to be very happy and grateful and thankful for your country and that you are living in, because most of the girls, they don't have the chance to go outside of home or even play cricket. It was so challenging. As I said, we had lots of security problems, especially for women, and there was lots of like bomb blasts, and even they were killing people on the street. And even we were watching war in front of our eyes. And then we were deciding to go to and continue our study and our work. And one day I remember my mom asked me, there was a war between our past government and some other people, and the war continued for 8 or 12 hours. And after when it turned to 8 or 9 a.m., my class used to start, and I told my mom that I want to go to my class. And my mom said, just half an hour ago and 1 hour ago, the war is just stopped, and the area is blocked. How you can go to the your class? I said, Mom, this is our country situation. We can't change it. So, but we can't stop ourselves to gain something, to get some education, to understand other language, because this will help us. This will help our country to be more good and independent in the future. If we young generation stopped doing that, so who else will go to classes and will do work? As I said, they were facing lots of bad situation, and there was lots of security problem for them, but they still had hopes that one day everything will be fine, and women can go to school, get education, and do their sports. But unfortunately, it didn't stay long.
How did you get recognised by the Afghanistan Cricket Board? Because you were one of the 25 cricketers who were given a contract in Is it November 2020?
Yeah. So as I said, I was also working in Afghanistan Cricket Board. So in at the time, Afghanistan Cricket Board had, when they have the facilities, so they were sharing with the girls and they were giving opportunities to them. And we had lots of program for Afghan women cricket. And after many years, finally we gave 25 girls contract. And it was a great achievement for Afghanistan Cricket Board, especially for women department. They struggle. We struggle a lot to convince the families, and we created the tournament and awareness program in different provinces. It was a great achievement for the Afghanistan Cricket Board, and they had lots of things in the plan for Afghan women cricket team, but it didn't last long, and unfortunately Taliban came and everything had stopped.
Yeah, in August 2021 was when the evacuation happened and the Taliban resumed control. Before that happened, were you anticipating what was going to happen? And you must have been scared, frightened at that time.
A lot. I can't explain in words, because when Taliban was coming to Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, so we still were going to our jobs, and everyone were doing their job, and they were going to the organization, and everyone was thinking, because we had the same situation before as well. Like most of the time, we were hearing in the news that Taliban took some province in Afghanistan, but the past government took it back, and like the war still was going. So we were thinking they will never come to Kabul, and everything will be fine. And we were hoping that everything should be fine, and we can continue our job and everything. But when the Taliban came, so everyone was terrified, and everyone was just running, and everyone just stopping cars, taxi, and they just wanted to go their home, and they closed every store. Like they closed it by themselves because everyone was so scared, and they couldn't stay in the city. They just wanted to go home, because we heard that Taliban already entered to Kabul. So the only thing was that everyone just going to their homes, and they just wanted to hide themselves. And I couldn't explain. It was something like when you're watching zombies movie, and everyone is terrified and running everywhere, and no one knows what to do. And only thing that they wanted to find a safe place for themselves, and they can hide themselves. And as I said, it was so hard for us, and we didn't know what to do, and even we didn't have hope that what we can do, because from the history we knew that when the Taliban came, they stopped every woman from getting education and doing their work. Not just for women, for men, for everyone. Like there is no any job in Afghanistan, and people are starving from not having any food. So everyone was terrified. It was the bad day of my life. I can't forget that.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about a movie, we sit on our sofas watching movies, but this was real life, and you were there. How long did you realize that? And I can't imagine doing this, having to leave your own country.
As I said, when the Taliban came, so the only thing we had, we wanted to apply for different countries that we were seeking help. If um, we were sending emails as a team that we are stuck in Afghanistan and now there is no hope for women, and there would be no jobs and no education, nothing. But finally, we received a call and message from Australia. There were people, Mel Jones and Catherine Ordway and Emma. They contacted us and they asked us if they are in contact with the right person. So I told them we were playing for Afghanistan and we are the girls that we got contract from Afghanistan Cricket Board, and now we don't have any way to leave our country. So they helped us, and it took almost 2 or 3 months, but it was different for every family. For most of the families, it took more than months, and for some families, they came quickly. There was also something that Australian government couldn't able to help them as quick as possible. But finally, they evacuated every family that we sent them a list. But as I said before, I can't explain how I was feeling. And everyone was terrified, and girls were crying, and they were calling me, Shazia, what to do now? Everything is gone, and they burned their cricket gears and everything that they have from cricket. Their jersey, they burned it and they left it somewhere that no one, if no one can recognize them. And they were crying what to do. So I told them that at least we can try. So this is the only thing that we can try, and we can if someone will find us, and we can go from Afghanistan. And finally, when the process started with the Australian government, so I was the person that we were helping our team to bring them to Australia. And no one knows that it will work, because everyone was like in doubt. Maybe it will not work, because we applied for some other countries as well, but we didn't receive any reply. So everyone was saying, no, it's not gonna work. What should we do? I say, we can just try, just relax, and if it doesn't work, so we can find another way. Just we can do pray and just be patient, and we will be in touch with them. But hopefully and finally and fortunately, they helped us. But we left everything in Afghanistan: our home, our memories, our country, everything.
I read an article, Shazia, that the cricketers were all destroying all their cricket kit, bats, balls, everything was being destroyed. Were you in fear every day of someone knocking on the door?
That's correct. Everyone, like every girl that we had, even management staff or the players, everyone was so scared, so scared that whenever they were hearing knocking on the door, so they were scared and they were sending us a message. We had a group, so they were saying there is someone. So we were telling them just be relaxed, and maybe the door will be for someone else. And like I can't explain in words, because it was a very bad situation. And when I'm going back to these days, and I'm thinking how I managed these all things, and it was so hard. Um, I couldn't imagine. If I'm telling my story, maybe someone said, "Oh, it's like some story," but we actually had this experience in the real. It was so terrifying for everyone,
I mean,
not only me.
we can't imagine what it must have been like. I mean, are you then going to Pakistan? How did you get to Pakistan? Were you in a truck? Did you have to walk? How did you get across the border?
We were in car. We crossed the border by road, and uh, we were wearing hijab, and we covered our face, and we had like security plan, and we were giving to the every family that how they can start their journey from home until when they get to Pakistan border. So everyone knows that how they should dress, and how they can sit in the car, and we traveled by road, and when we get to the Pakistan border, there was already booked car from Australian embassy in Pakistan. But we traveled by road, and we covered our faces, and we didn't talk at all in whole way, and also as I mentioned, when we were leaving our country, no one talked at all in all way. Like we were traveling from Kabul to Torkham border, and then from Torkham to Islamabad, and we didn't know. Even we didn't like we didn't have an idea that what just happened, and how we are leaving our country, and how we can leave everything that we built in past few years. And we struggled a lot, especially it was so hard for women in Afghanistan, because and I had friends that they were single moms, and they were widow in Afghanistan, and the women and the girls were only person in their home that they were working, and they were providing some food for their families. And when Taliban came, they stopped every female, every mom, and every girl from doing any activities outside of their home. And still now, you will see the situation that in Afghanistan, they can't go to school, they can't get education. Even the working is like quite away. Even they can't go to school. They just can go to school under sixth grade, and after sixth grade they can't continue their school. And the girls that they were in universities, they're now at their homes. So this is a not good situation for no one, not just for females, for male, for children, for everyone. And Afghanistan situation is not in good place, and people doesn't know what government want from them and what they wanted to do with them. So this is not a good situation in 21st century, but still we have some countries that they are facing lots of struggle in every area, women and men, especially women's women's are majority in Afghanistan right now.
Wow, it's so enlightening hearing your voice talking about that. Going back, the Taliban took control again in August 2021. What timescales are we talking from you in August 2021 to get into the Pakistan border, and what distances are we talking about?
So I'm not quite sure about the kilometer, but we traveled for 8 hours from Kabul. I think 6 or 7 hours we traveled from Kabul to Pakistan border.
And August 2021. When was this? Was this September, October? When was this?
So as I said, every family had different situation. So we sent first group at the end of the August and beginning of the September, and some families went on at the end of the September, and some family October, and some family even December. So it was different time for every family. Half of my family is in Australia, half of my family in Afghanistan.
That must be very difficult, knowing that some of your family and friends must be still in Afghanistan.
Oh yes, it's so difficult. As I said, we didn't know like for months, like more than 8 months. It took me to gather my thoughts and to think about my life in Australia. That what should I do, and should I stop, or should I live in the past, or what to do? It was so hard. Even people, Afghani people, they live their life in trauma. So when I'm hearing ambulance sound, so I'm going back to the previous thoughts and the situation that we had in Afghanistan. So when we were hearing ambulance, so we knew that there is something happened. Maybe someone killed someone, or there is bomb blast, and like lots of things. It is so hard for us, for migrants, to gather their thoughts and to decide what to do, and to decide how to start their life again. It is not an easy thing. But by the time it gets better, but it's so hard.
You mentioned a few minutes ago about the Australian cricket authorities. Have they been wonderful from the beginning, really, in managing to get you out of Afghanistan, across the border, and into Australia?
Yeah, they as I said before, they were so supportive, and they showed very kindness, and their kindness and love and support when we reached Australia. So after like a few days, they took us to play some cricket game and to show us around, and um, uh, they mentioned few cricket clubs in every states. So our cricket girls living in different states, not just in Canberra. So they have facilities, and if some players want to continue their cricket journey, so they have access to the cricket clubs, and they gave us cricket gear, and still they are helping us. And as I said, it takes time, but they were very helpful, and they helped us a lot.
And you're still in contact with the other Afghanistan cricketers?
Yes. So we had 25 contracted players, but there was still lots of women players that they were playing cricket. And as I explained, our situation in Afghanistan, so they are still in the same situation, and even they can't go outside from home, and there are lots of restriction for women. And yeah, they are in the same situation. Their circumstances is not changed.
But the other cricketers that have left Afghanistan, as you say, who are around Australia, you keep in good contact with your other fellow Afghanistani cricketers?
Yes, we are in contact, and but life is so busy. So everyone, as I explained my situation, so I had to build my life. I have to do many things. So they're also busy in their life, and most of the girls, they're playing the same, like they're playing cricket with different clubs, and they're busy in their life, and they uh they're starting to build their life in Australia.
Shazia, most of the Afghanistan women cricketers have gone to Australia. Some have, I believe, gone to Canada as well.
I believe so. Yeah, there is some players there in Canada. So as I said, when Taliban came, everyone just wanted to go from Afghanistan. So I believe maybe I'm not sure because I'm not contacted with them. Maybe one player would be in London, in UK, Canada, and Australia. Yes.
And when did you actually arrive in Australia? Just to give it a sort of time scale here.
It was 29th of October 2021.
Certainly a day you remember. This podcast has been very much involved with Fairbreak, and one of your colleagues, Tuba, played at Fairbreak.
Yes, that's correct. I really fond of Fairbreak because they're working very hard for women cricket. For every they're selecting players from every country, which is great, and I really like them. And yes, she played, and as I know, most of the associated members and also they played like from different countries, and I have been following them and watching their highlights. Hopefully, if I can get a chance to play and to have a chat with different players and to know about their experience, and they can show and tell me or give me some tips that I can focus on, that would be great.
Is there any hope of, because there's so many of the Afghanistan cricketers now in Australia, is there ever a hope of the players playing together as an Afghanistan team?
Actually, this is a big question. I don't know actually, because if there is any chance, I would love to, but I'm not sure about this one. But as I said, I love cricket, and through my cricket, I want to show the ability of Afghan women, that they are capable of to play cricket. But to play in a under Afghan women team, that would be great if we can. But I'm not sure because this is two different countries, and like Afghanistan is different country and Australia is different country, and I'm not sure if there is any law that they can allow two teams in one country. I'm not sure about that. We'll see in the future what others decide, but that would be nice if there is a team so we can play for our country.
And what are your thoughts on the Afghanistan men's team continuing to play at the top level?
As I said, they were my inspiration to join the cricket, and I'm really proud of them because they also faced and they're facing lots of bad situation, and they did cricket in very hard security problem in Afghanistan, because the situation was same for boys and girls as well, but especially for women, there was lots of bad condition. But I would say they should play in high level because they deserve that, and there is nothing wrong with the Afghan boys cricket team because they struggle a lot in their own way, and we struggle a lot in our own way, and we are still doing it, and they have to play, and because they struggle a lot, as I said, and they at the time they didn't have much support, and they were spending money from their pocket, and now they're in very good situation. So it wouldn't be fair with them to stop them playing cricket in the top level because their skills and ability are so high right now.
So you followed them in the T20 World Cup, and you will be in the 50 over World Cup in India later this year.
Yes, for sure. So Afghanistan and Australia are my favorite teams, and I love watching England team as well, as well as India and some other high level cricket. Because as a player, you can learn different skills from different teams, and for Afghanistan, yes, they will play better, and it's not fair because I'm saying this. It's not fair with Afghani people. As I said, they're living in trauma, and they struggle for 20 years, and after 20 years, this cricket is the only hope for everyone. Not just in Afghanistan, like all around the world, that Afghan living in different countries. So this is the only hope and only happiness that they have. So if we take this from Afghani people, so what will stay with them? So cricket is only hope for them to watch them in international stadiums, and I would say yes, I would love to watch them, and it wouldn't be fair with Afghan people. So if we are talking about the human rights, so men are all also human. So we shouldn't do the work that we say no, they're not allowed, because they struggle and they're now in very good situation. So they have to play, and they should be in the place that they are.
Well, you have Rashid Khan, who's currently the number one T20 player in the world, bowler in the world.
Yes, I think most of the people are a fan of him, and I'm as well, because I'm doing leg break, and inshallah one day I want to become like female Rashid Khan in the world, because he's a leg break bowler, and I'm a leg break bowler from Afghanistan. He's also from Afghanistan. So I have been watching his bowling and his techniques that he's using. So I'm working on it. Yeah. And we have like lots of great players more as well.
Well, hopefully one day you'll get to meet Rashid Khan as well.
Actually, I met Rashid Khan in Afghanistan. So because I was working in Afghanistan Cricket Board, so players were coming to Afghanistan Cricket Board more often, and I met him before. But I want to hopefully, if I get chance to play more advanced cricket, and that people can see me, that how I'm playing, so that would be more interesting.
Let's get back to Carli, because the new season at Eastlake Cricket Club is due to start on the 6th of October, I understand. How much are you looking forward to seeing Shazia playing in 2023-2024?
Very excited. It's good to have her and her sister back again this season. Really looking forward to getting in there behind the stumps again. We might have to change up the signals. I think some of the batters were cottoning onto it towards the end of the season. But she's really worked hard over the off season, and I'm looking forward to to how she can lift this season, and maybe we can go all the way this season and get the premierships.
Well, let's hope so. At the time of recording, you've just started nets.
That's correct. Yes.
So you've seen Shazia bowling again in the nets already this season.
Yeah. Yep. She's ready to go. She's ripping them in, and absolutely looking forward to once we get out there on the turf wickets and see how far they're turning. Well,
best of luck for the upcoming season. It's always difficult. You get confused with the 2023-2024 angle, but best of luck to Eastlake Cricket Club, and thank you, Carli, for being on the Paddock and the Pavilion.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Shazia, for being on the Paddock and the Pavilion. It's been like no other interview I've ever done. To hear your story of how you're now safely in Australia and your cricketing journey. Have you got any final thoughts you'd like to say to listeners?
Thank you so much to giving me a time to speak some words about my journey to Australia and some experience that I had in Afghanistan. Thank you. And like when someone is moving from country to another country, so there is lots of difference. And I never spoke that much. Like I have been learning English since 2021. I didn't speak English as much as I'm speaking now in Australia. So this is the other barrier for every migrant. And I have lots of things in my mind, but maybe I can't express it in the way that I want because of my English. But hopefully one day, if my English got perfect, so I can speak more better than that. But thank you for giving me a time. And I know I spoke a lot. It was a long interview, I guess. And thank you so much. Hopefully, women everywhere get a better chance to pursue their career and have safe place to get education and do some work and to support their family and community.
Well, thank you very much, Shazia. I mean, I think your English is very good. It's been a great listen, and thank you very much again.
And thank you so much. Thank you.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
From iHeart Podcasts, Supreme, The Battle for Roe, tells the story of the unlikely champions behind the landmark case Roe v. Wade, starring Maya Hawke as 26-year-old lead attorney Sarah Weddington.
We're challenging the Texas abortion laws in federal court.
And Academy Award nominee William H. Macy as Supreme Court Justice Harry Blackmun.
Time is not the most important factor. Getting it right is.
Listen to the podcast Supreme, The Battle for Roe on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.